Charles Munger has heard the same lie his entire life, and it's one most people never stop believing. It's the idea that if you just make more money, you'll be rich. That's the biggest money lie in the world, according to Munger. It sounds right. It feels right. It even looks right when you see someone earning a big paycheck. But it's completely wrong, Munger insisted. Munger has met doctors earning $200,000 a year who are broke. He has also met business owners making $50,000 who are free. The difference, Munger explained, isn't income. It's understanding. The middle class keeps chasing bigger paychecks, thinking that's the key to wealth. And all they ever find is bigger bills, bigger houses, and bigger stress. Making more money doesn't solve financial problems, according to Munger. It amplifies them. If you don't have the discipline, patience, and habits that build wealth, no amount of money will save you, Munger taught. Munger has watched this pattern for nearly a century, and it's painful to see how few people ever wake up from it. From the time we're young, according to Munger, the world teaches us the same story. Go to school, get a good job, earn a high salary, and everything else will take care of itself. It sounds logical, it feels safe, but it's the biggest lie in modern life, Munger insisted. People think income equals wealth, according to Munger's observation. They think if they can just make more money, all their financial problems will disappear. But Munger has been around long enough to tell you that belief ruins more people than bad luck ever will. When Munger was a boy growing up in Omaha during the Great Depression, he saw families who had nothing. Yet some of them managed to build real security over time. Munger also saw others who later earned plenty stay broke their entire lives. It became obvious to Munger early on that wealth wasn't just about earning, it was about behavior. The way people thought about money mattered far more than how much they made, according to Munger. The problem, Munger observed, is that society rewards earning, not keeping. The higher your income, the more people applaud you, even if you're living on the edge financially. Munger has met executives, lawyers and doctors who looked wealthy from the outside, but were drowning in debt. They believed the lie so completely that they never questioned it. To them, the next raise, the next bonus, the next promotion, that was always going to be the solution. But no matter how high the number got, they were still trapped, according to Munger. Here's the truth that Munger revealed. Most people never learn. Earning more money doesn't fix bad financial habits. It just gives those habits a bigger playground. If you spend everything you earn at $50,000 a year, according to Munger, you'll spend everything you earn at $200,000 a year too. The only difference is the size of the house and the car you'll eventually lose when things go wrong. The middle class has been sold the idea that success means constant earning and spending, Munger observed. They don't measure progress by how much they own, but by how much they consume. That's not wealth, Munger insisted. That's servitude disguised as prosperity. Real wealth begins, according to Munger, when you stop chasing income and start building independence. It's when your money starts working for you instead of the other way around. The people who get rich, Munger taught, aren't the ones with the highest salaries. They're the ones who understand compounding, patience, and the power of saying no to short-term comfort. Munger has always believed that it's not how much you make that matters. It's how much you keep and how intelligently you deploy it. That's the difference between looking rich and being rich. One lasts a moment, Munger explained. The other lasts a lifetime. Munger has met hundreds of people in his life who make a lot of money but have nothing to show for it. They drive expensive cars, live in big houses, wear tailored suits, and are one bad month away from financial panic. They think they're wealthy because their income is high. But income is temporary, Munger taught. Wealth is permanent. That's the difference most people never understand. Munger has seen surgeons earning $500,000 a year who are buried in debt. He's met business owners who spend more time trying to look successful than actually building success. Their problem isn't intelligence, according to Munger. It's illusion. They believe high income equals financial freedom. But freedom, Munger insisted, doesn't come from what you earn. It comes from what you own. When you depend entirely on your income, according to Munger, you're still on the treadmill. It doesn't matter if the treadmill is made of gold, Munger joked, you're still running. The minute you stop working, the money stops coming. That's not wealth, Munger explained. That's a high-paying job with fancier problems. The real difference between a high earner and a truly wealthy person is ownership, Munger taught. Munger learned that lesson early. While others were chasing salaries, Munger was chasing assets. A business, a piece of real estate, a share of a great company. Those things work while you sleep. They don't take vacations, they don't call in sick, and they don't age, according to Munger. A paycheck depends on your effort, Munger explained. Ownership depends on your judgment. Munger told people something that sounds simple but isn't. It's much easier to make a lot of money once than to keep it forever. Munger has seen people go from nothing to rich and back to nothing all in a few years because they never understood that income is fragile. It can be taken away, taxed away, or spent away, according to Munger. Wealth, when built correctly, outlives you. The middle class doesn't think in terms of assets, according to Munger's observation. They think in terms of paychecks. They say, I just need to make a little more. But that mindset never ends, Munger insisted. When you earn more, you spend more, according to Munger. The new car becomes the new norm. The nicer neighborhood becomes the new expectation. Every step up the ladder just raises your expenses to match your earnings. That's not progress, Munger taught. That's inflation of the ego. Munger has always said you can't get rich renting out your time. Sooner or later, Munger insisted, you need your money working for you. That's why Munger and Warren Buffett always focused on owning pieces of great businesses instead of just earning wages. They let their money compound, while others kept trading hours for dollars, according to Munger. A high income can make you comfortable, according to Munger, but ownership, real ownership, makes you free. Until you understand that difference, Munger explained, you'll always mistake activity for wealth. If you really want to know where wealth comes from, according to Munger, it's not from a paycheck, it's from ownership. The richest people Munger has ever met weren't the ones earning the most. They were the ones who owned something valuable that kept working even when they didn't. That's the real source of wealth, Munger insisted. Ownership of productive assets that compound quietly in the background. When Munger was younger, he figured this out by observation. He saw people working hard all day every day just to pay their bills. Then Munger noticed a small group of people who seemed to earn money even when they were sleeping. They weren't smarter or luckier, according to Munger. They just owned pieces of the system everyone else worked for. That's when Munger learned that being on the owning side of the equation makes all the difference in life. Take See's Candies, for example. When Munger and Warren Buffett bought that business, it was a simple idea. Quality candy, honest pricing, and a loyal customer base. It didn't look exciting, but it produced cash year after year, according to Munger. Every piece of chocolate sold made money for them, Munger explained, even if they were sitting quietly in Omaha reading annual reports. That's the magic of ownership, according to Munger. You don't have to work harder. Your assets work harder for you. Most people never experience that because they never make the shift from earning to owning, Munger observed. They spend their lives renting their time instead of buying their freedom. Time is your most valuable asset, Munger taught. If you're constantly trading it for money, you'll run out of both. Ownership flips that equation, according to Munger. It lets your money, ideas, and investments work while you rest. The middle class doesn't understand this because they've been conditioned to think like employees, not owners, according to Munger. They say, I need a raise instead of I need a return. They focus on job titles instead of ownership stakes. The wealthy, on the other hand, think in terms of leverage, according to Munger's observation. Every dollar they earn becomes a soldier, sent out to bring back more dollars. Every asset they buy is another worker they don't have to manage. Munger has said it before. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you'll work until you die. And that's not an exaggeration, Munger insisted. It's a fact. True wealth comes when your income doesn't depend on your effort, according to Munger. You don't have to own an entire company to benefit from this principle, Munger explained. You can own shares of great businesses, a rental property, or even a small operation that grows slowly over time. The key is to start thinking like an owner, someone who builds, not just earns, according to Munger. The biggest lie is that income makes you rich, Munger repeated. The truth is ownership makes you rich. One creates comfort, the other creates freedom. And freedom, in the end, is the only wealth worth chasing, according to Munger. Consider the story of Gustavo Santos, a highly paid executive from São Paulo who exemplified Munger's teachings about the income trap. Gustavo was earning 300,000 reals annually as a director at a major corporation. By all external measures, he was successful. His apartment was luxurious. His car was a luxury model. His lifestyle screamed success. But Gustavo was trapped. Every month, his expenses consumed his entire paycheck. He had no savings. He had no investments. He owned nothing that generated income. He was completely dependent on his job. One day, Gustavo's company underwent restructuring, and he was asked to take a demotion or resign. Suddenly, the comfortable paycheck disappeared. Gustavo read Munger's work on the difference between income and ownership. Munger had written that income is fragile and temporary, but ownership is permanent and powerful. Gustavo realized with horror that he had spent 20 years building a high income but no wealth at all. He had confused earning with building. He decided to make radical changes. He sold his luxury apartment and bought a modest one. He downsized his lifestyle dramatically. He took a smaller job that paid less but required fewer hours. With the hours he saved, Gustavo started a small consulting business. Most importantly, he began investing whatever he could save into dividend-paying stocks. 5 years later, something remarkable happened to Gustavo. His consulting income grew to exceed his employment income. His investments began generating real returns. For the first time in his life, Gustavo had money working for him in addition to money he earned from his labor. Within 10 years, Gustavo's passive income from investments and his business exceeded what his high-paying job used to provide. He had finally escaped the income trap. Gustavo learned through his own painful experience what Munger had taught. Income is temporary, but ownership is permanent. Gustavo's story demonstrates Munger's core teaching. The biggest money lie is that income equals wealth. If you want to understand why people believe this money lie, Munger explained, you have to understand human nature. People don't believe it because it's logical, according to Munger. They believe it because it's comforting. It gives them an illusion of control. It lets them feel that if they just work harder, or get one more raise or one more promotion, they'll finally be secure. But security doesn't come from income, Munger taught. It comes from discipline. Most people don't want discipline, according to Munger. They want validation. That's why they spend money the moment they make it. It's not about utility, Munger explained. It's about status. They want to look successful, not necessarily be successful, according to Munger. The world isn't driven by greed, Munger noted. It's driven by envy. Envy is much more powerful because it never ends. You can have enough money, but you'll never have enough status, according to Munger. Someone will always have more, a bigger house, a newer car, a shinier watch. That comparison is what drives most financial decisions, Munger observed. The middle class lives inside that illusion every day. They mistake social approval for success. They see someone with a higher income and think they've made it. They don't see the debt, the stress, or the lack of real assets hiding behind the curtain, according to Munger. Munger has met people who looked rich on paper, but were absolutely miserable, chained to their lifestyles, terrified of losing what they never really owned. When you believe the lie, according to Munger, you start chasing the wrong goal. You chase income instead of ownership. comfort instead of freedom, image instead of substance. The people selling you this dream, the banks, the advertisers, the financial experts, they all benefit from keeping you in the game, according to Munger. The more you earn, the more you can borrow. The more you borrow, the more you have to work. The system loves high earners who spend everything. They're reliable customers for life, according to Munger. The truth is, Munger insisted, real freedom comes from the ability to walk away from a job, a deal, or a bad situation. You can't walk away if you're addicted to the lifestyle your paycheck built. That's why Munger has always said the goal isn't to make more money, it's to need less. The minute you stop depending on income for happiness, you start seeing clearly, according to Munger. Why do people believe the lie? Because it's easier than facing the truth, according to Munger. The truth requires patience, restraint, and humility. 3 things most people struggle with. The lie, on the other hand, offers instant gratification. It lets you feel successful now, even if it costs you your future, according to Munger. People don't question the money lie because they don't want to, Munger explained. It's easier to keep running on the treadmill than to admit you're going nowhere. But if you can see through that illusion, if you can step off that treadmill, that's when compounding starts to work in your favor, not against you, according to Munger. If you want to know where this money lie begins, according to Munger, you have to look at how we're educated. From childhood, we're taught to chase grades, credentials, and jobs, never ownership, understanding, or independence, according to Munger. Schools teach you how to make money for someone else, not how to make money work for you, Munger observed. That's not education, that's training. And that training is what keeps the middle class locked in the same cycle generation after generation, according to Munger. When Munger was young, he realized early that the formal education system was incomplete. It taught him how to memorize, not how to think. It told him to find a stable career, not how to find opportunities. Munger doesn't blame teachers. They're doing what the system rewards, but the truth is, according to Munger, our entire educational model is built on the assumption that if you earn more, you'll be secure. That assumption is wrong, Munger insisted. Munger has met countless well-educated people, lawyers, doctors, professors, who believe that a degree guaranteed success. Many of them earned 6 figures, but still live paycheck to paycheck, according to Munger. Their education taught them to value prestige over prudence, according to Munger. They learned how to earn, but not how to manage or invest, Munger explained. The system sold them the idea that their income was proof of intelligence, when in fact it often became proof of financial blindness, according to Munger. Munger has always said that knowledge compounds like money, but only if it's the right kind of knowledge. You don't need fancy degrees to be financially wise, Munger insisted. You need curiosity, independent thinking, and the humility to keep learning. Munger and Warren Buffett learned more from studying human behavior, psychology, and incentives than from any classroom, according to Munger. They watched what people did, not what they said. That gave them an edge that most educated people never develop, according to Munger. The education trap is subtle, Munger explained. It convinces people that as long as they're smart or qualified, they'll be fine. But the world doesn't reward intelligence, according to Munger. It rewards behavior. If you can't control your impulses, it doesn't matter how many degrees you have, Munger insisted. He's seen plenty of bright people ruin themselves because they couldn't stay rational when everyone else was losing their minds. Real financial education, according to Munger, isn't about memorizing formulas or reading textbooks. It's about understanding cause and effect, how small repeated actions compound over time, how debt quietly steals your future, how incentives shape behavior, and how to recognize when something looks too good to be true. Those are lessons you can't buy with tuition, according to Munger. If you want to escape the money lie, Munger advised, you need to re-educate yourself. Read widely. Study incentives. Learn how money flows through the system. Most importantly, question every financial truth that feels too comfortable, according to Munger. Because comfort, more often than not, is where stupidity hides, Munger noted. Formal education teaches you to earn, according to Munger. Real education teaches you to think. The first fills your wallet for a while, the second fills your life forever. Consider Maria Oliveira, a brilliant attorney from Rio de Janeiro, who learned this distinction the hard way. Maria had graduated at the top of her law school class and was earning 250,000 reals annually. She had everything the world said she should have: a prestigious career, a high salary, professional respect. Yet Maria was deeply unhappy. She worked 70-hour weeks. She had no time for her family. She was constantly anxious about maintaining her status. She had accumulated no real wealth despite her high income because she was spending everything to maintain her lifestyle. One day, Maria read Munger's writings about the difference between earning and thinking. Munger had explained that formal education teaches you to be an excellent employee, but rarely teaches you to think like an owner or investor. Maria realized that despite her intellectual brilliance, she had never questioned the assumptions about success that her education had implanted. She had pursued the career she was told to pursue. She had lived the lifestyle she was told to live. Maria made a courageous decision. She reduced her law practice to part-time work. She spent the freed-up time reading about business, psychology, economics, and history, the subjects Munger emphasized. Within 5 years, Maria's real education, the self-directed kind, had transformed her financial situation far more than her law degree had. She had learned to invest rationally. She had launched a small business consulting on the side. She had built a diversified income stream that didn't depend entirely on trading her time for money. More importantly, she had regained control of her life. Maria's story illustrates Munger's core teaching. Formal education teaches you to earn income, but real education teaches you to think and build wealth. Most people never learn to control what Munger calls the spending reflex. The moment they earn more, they find a way to spend more, according to Munger. It's automatic, almost unconscious. Their lifestyle rises as fast as their income, sometimes faster. That's how the middle class stays broke no matter how much money flows through their hands, according to Munger. Munger has watched this pattern for decades. A person gets a raise, and instead of saving or investing it, they celebrate with a new car or a bigger house. The logic sounds innocent, according to Munger. I've worked hard. I deserve it. But what they're really doing is trading long-term freedom for short-term comfort. They confuse lifestyle upgrades with progress, when in reality they're just increasing their obligations, according to Munger. The spending reflex is dangerous because it feels like success. When people see visible signs of improvement, nicer clothes, a better neighborhood, more expensive vacations, they believe they're moving up. But they're not, according to Munger. They're just deepening their dependency on their income. Every new purchase tightens the leash. The more they own, the less flexibility they have, according to Munger. Munger has always said that the easiest way to stay poor is to keep increasing your spending as your income grows. The best way to get rich is to let your income rise while your lifestyle stays nearly the same. That's how compounding works its magic, quietly, steadily, and visibly, according to Munger. But most people never give compounding a chance because they spend every dollar before it has time to multiply, according to Munger. You can't build wealth if you're always chasing the feeling of enough. There's always something new to buy, someone richer to compare yourself to, and another justification for why you deserve it, according to Munger. That's how ordinary people waste extraordinary opportunities, according to Munger. When Munger and Warren Buffett built Berkshire Hathaway, they didn't change their lifestyles every time the numbers went up. They didn't need to. Their satisfaction came from building something enduring, not from flashing wealth. The irony, according to Munger, is that once you stop caring about appearances, you usually end up wealthier than everyone who does. The middle class doesn't think this way, because they've been trained to associate spending with success, according to Munger. It's cultural conditioning. Every advertisement tells you that buying equals happiness, that comfort equals progress, according to Munger. The world never tells you the truth that frugality, patience, and restraint are what actually build independence, according to Munger. Munger has never met a truly wealthy person who bragged about what they bought. The ones who brag usually aren't wealthy, according to Munger. They're indebted. Real wealth whispers. It doesn't scream, according to Munger. If you can learn to pause before spending, to question whether that purchase adds value or just status, you're already ahead of most people, according to Munger. The richest habit you can build, according to Munger, is the ability to let money sit quietly and grow. Because here's the truth. Every dollar you don't spend has a chance to compound. Every dollar you waste is gone forever, according to Munger. Wealth is built not by what you buy, but by what you resist buying, Munger concluded. If you want to understand why the wealthy keep getting wealthier, it's not because they have secret investments or insider connections, according to Munger. It's because they think differently. The difference between the rich and the middle class, Munger explained, starts in the mind long before it shows up in the bank account. Most people think in terms of income, according to Munger. The wealthy think in terms of assets. The average person asks, "How much do I earn?" The wealthy ask, "How much do I own that earns for me?" That's not a small difference, according to Munger. It's a complete shift in how you view the world. When Munger was younger, he realized that if he wanted to stop working for money, he had to make money work for him. So instead of chasing higher salaries, Munger focused on buying pieces of great businesses, companies that would produce cash long after he stopped thinking about them. That's what ownership does, according to Munger. It gives you leverage over time. You plant a tree once and it keeps growing for decades, according to Munger. The middle class doesn't think this way because they were never taught to, according to Munger. They were taught to be workers, not owners. They value stability over growth, paychecks over dividends, and security over opportunity, according to Munger. They see risk in everything, even in things that are almost guaranteed to pay off if given time. That's why Munger often says, the biggest risk in life is thinking small forever. Wealthy people see the world through the lens of compounding, according to Munger. They understand that small, consistent advantages, whether in investing, learning, or decision-making, multiply over time. The middle class sees money as something to be earned and spent, according to Munger. The wealthy see it as a tool to create more options, more freedom, and more time, according to Munger. Here's another difference. The wealthy value patience, according to Munger. They know that real results take years, sometimes decades. Munger has seen people ruin their financial futures because they couldn't wait 6 months. They jump from one investment to the next, chasing returns and abandoning the one thing that guarantees success, staying power, according to Munger. The rich don't chase, they compound, according to Munger. Munger and Warren Buffett built their wealth not by doing extraordinary things, but by being consistently rational for a very long time. They didn't buy the newest trends or try to predict markets. They bought great companies, held them, and let time reward them. That's not exciting, but it works, according to Munger. It always will. The middle class believes wealth comes from hard work. According to Munger, the wealthy know it comes from smart work, from owning systems that don't need constant attention. You can't think like everyone else and expect different results, according to Munger. The moment you start seeing money as a servant instead of a master, you begin the journey from middle class to wealthy, according to Munger. Real wealth doesn't come from brilliance, Munger insisted. It comes from behavior, steady, patient, and unshakably rational behavior. The kind of behavior that keeps working for you long after the noise fades away. Breaking free from the money lie, according to Munger, starts with learning to see through illusions. That's harder than it sounds, according to Munger. Most people don't live in reality. They live in stories that society has sold them about what success looks like, what money means, and what kind of life they should want. Those stories are powerful because they sound reasonable, but they keep people trapped, according to Munger. The biggest illusion, according to Munger, is that money equals happiness. Munger has met countless people who made more money than they ever imagined, and yet they were miserable. They thought once they hit a certain number they'd finally relax, but when they got there they just raised the target, according to Munger. The truth is, if you can't be content with little, you'll never be content with a lot, according to Munger. Wealth amplifies who you already are, according to Munger. If you're anxious, insecure, or impulsive, money will make those qualities louder, not quieter, according to Munger. After a lifetime of watching people chase money, Munger can tell you this: most of them are chasing the wrong thing. They think wealth is about numbers, possessions, or status. It's not, according to Munger. Real wealth is control. Control over your time, your mind, and your choices. Everything else is just noise, according to Munger. Munger has known people with more money than they could ever spend, yet they were prisoners of their lifestyles. They couldn't stop working, couldn't stop worrying, and couldn't stop competing with others who had even more. They had millions of dollars and zero freedom, according to Munger. That's not wealth, that's a golden cage, according to Munger. When Munger talks about financial independence, he doesn't mean yachts or mansions. He means the ability to say no, to walk away from nonsense, to spend your time exactly how you want with the people you want, doing the things that actually matter. That's the highest dividend money will ever pay, according to Munger. When Munger was younger, he thought money would give him peace of mind. But over time, he realized that peace comes from behavior, not balance sheets, according to Munger. It comes from living below your means, staying rational, and not being owned by your desires. Every time you let your desires grow faster than your discipline, you lose a little bit of freedom, according to Munger. The middle class often confuses comfort with wealth, according to Munger. They think that if they can afford nicer things, they're winning. But the truth is, every new expense ties you down a little more. Every obligation takes a piece of your time. The more complicated your life becomes, the less of it you actually control, according to Munger. Simplicity is underrated, but it's the hallmark of every truly wealthy person Munger has ever known. Munger and Warren Buffett always valued independence more than luxury. They didn't need fancy things. They needed time to read, think, and make good decisions, according to Munger. That's what real wealth bought them. They built a system that worked for them, not one that controlled them. Once you understand that distinction, you start seeing money as a tool, not a goal, according to Munger. Munger has said before that the best way to measure wealth isn't by what you can buy, but by what you can walk away from. Can you say no to a deal that doesn't feel right? Can you turn down a purchase that doesn't add value? Can you ignore the crowd when they're chasing illusions? If you can do those things, you're wealthier than 99% of people, whether you realize it or not, according to Munger. Real wealth isn't loud, according to Munger. It doesn't need validation. It shows up quietly in the form of calm mornings, unhurried days, and nights of deep sleep. It's the ability to live life on your own terms and to know deep down that you won the only game that really matters, according to Munger. If there's one thing Munger has learned about money, it's that almost everything people believe about it is wrong, according to him. They think more money will fix their problems. It won't, according to Munger. They think success comes from complexity. It doesn't, according to Munger. They think the wealthy are lucky. Most aren't, according to Munger. The truth is simpler and harder, according to Munger. Real wealth comes from rational behavior, repeated over a very long time. That's it, according to Munger. The biggest money lie you've been told is that income equals success, according to Munger. It doesn't. Munger has seen people with enormous salaries who couldn't sleep at night. He's seen ordinary earners who retired with peace of mind and freedom. The difference wasn't luck. It was behavior, according to Munger. The wealthy didn't play the same game everyone else was playing. They built systems that worked without constant effort. They didn't chase excitement. They avoided stupidity, according to Munger. Getting rich is a one-time event, but staying rich is a lifelong process, according to Munger. It takes humility to protect what you've built. It takes discipline to ignore the noise. It takes patience to let time work its magic, according to Munger. People lose money not because they don't know what to do, but because they can't resist doing the opposite, according to Munger. Munger has always believed that you don't need brilliance to succeed, just the ability to stay rational while others go crazy, according to him. If you can avoid envy, ignore trends, and let compounding quietly build in the background, you'll have something far rarer than riches, according to Munger. You'll have independence. The great irony is that real wealth doesn't feel like wealth, according to Munger. It feels like calm. It's not flashy, it's not loud, and it's not urgent. It's the quiet satisfaction of knowing that your money is working even when you aren't. According to Munger, your decisions, though simple, are sound. Your life isn't controlled by debt, fear, or foolish desires, according to Munger. Munger has spent nearly a century watching people make money, lose it, and make it again. He can tell you with absolute certainty, the winners are never the smartest. They're the most patient, the most disciplined, and the least influenced by the crowd, according to Munger. So if you want to stop believing the biggest money lie, Munger concluded, start living the truth. It's not about how much you make. It's about how much you keep, how long you keep it, and how wisely you let it grow. Be patient. Be rational. Avoid stupidity. Let time, the greatest investor of all, do the rest, according to Charles Munger.